Federal prosecutors say all of the victims were Chinese sex workers, but that does not negate the crime this federal agent is accused of doing to these women. Now, these crimes happened in 2022, but the federal indictment unsealed today, just hours before the federal agent appeared in federal court. A warning, some of the details in this case may be disturbing to some viewers. According to this 12-page indictment, the defendant is a serial rapist who's turned his position as a United States Customs and Border Protection officer into a license to commit or attempt to commit gunpoint sexual assaults and robberies of 4 different women. Court papers show in 2022, Luis Uribe was stationed at O'Hare Airport as a border protection officer and would find his victims at hotels in Schaumburg and Naperville. Here's a look at Uribe. Images federal prosecutors say one of his victims secretly snapped. The 44-year-old is out of a job charged with 10 counts of deprivation of rights under color law, essentially using his badge to commit crimes, and 1 count of brandishing a firearm during a crime of violence. The complaint says on multiple occasions, Uribe would force his way into the room, brandish a gun, and badge and identify himself as police. The women were all in the sex worker industry, and Uribe is accused of threatening them with his position to prevent them from making official police reports. The feds say there are at least 4 victims, some sexually assaulted more than once. Multiple victims describe the appearance of the defendant's badge, which is consistent with a standard issue CBP badge. In some cases, he's even accused of forcing victims to pay him after raping them at gunpoint. Outrage over the attacks, prosecutors say a victim snapped this image of Uribe after a madam convinced him to meet a worker at a restaurant. The complaint says they put a deal on the table. If he stopped attacking workers, they would provide him with free commercial sex with sex workers. He agreed, but federal prosecutors say he continued the attacks. Yet the feds say this image played a key part in identifying the Border Patrol officer. After another assault, one victim finally called police, and the defendant's DNA was found on bedding. Uribe entered a plea of not guilty in court just hours after he turned himself in on this morning. We should point out that he remains in federal custody. As for the Border Patrol, they tell us that they cannot comment specifically about this case, but the agency takes all cases of misconduct very seriously. In the control room tonight, Jermont Terry, CBS News Chicago. Joe?
Jermont, thank you.